One Piece fans, what's good? The answer to that question, of course, is One Piece. One Piece is what's good. And today, I want to talk about one of the calamities of the Beast Pirates, and that would be Jack the Drought, the first calamity we were ever introduced to. And I want to talk about his role in the story, and what he's going to be doing going forward. So, first off, I believe he's going to fight Luffy. At some point in the story, I believe he's going to be defeated by Luffy. But I think that is only going to happen after he leaves, or rather gets taken out of the calamities. Now, I know a lot of people might be like, what? But let me just get into the explanation. So we know the Beast Pirates are a meritocracy, so that means the whole thing, how everything runs, that is based on strength. Not like, obviously, other things like favor and smarts probably have a little bit of role in it, but what's respected among the Beast Pirates above all is your strength, the power you have, and that is what is going to get you up in the ranks. Just 9 times out of 10, maybe even 10 times out of 10. That's just how they roll. So the Beast Pirates are meritocracy, right? So you got the calamities at the top of the meritocracy under Kaido, so they're the top 3 strongest. And then after them, you got the Tobiropo, which are the top 6 strongest headliners in a group that's only under the calamities and Kaido in terms of strength. So I guess the 3rd tier of the crew, if you will. So you got Kaido the strongest, then the top 3 strongest after Kaido, which would be the calamities, and then the top 6 after those top 3, which would be the Flying 6. And then you got the whole myriad of headliners, which are all, some of them are strong, some aren't, and then below them you got the fodder, basically. In chapter 979, we saw that Kaido said to the Flying Six, go find my son Yamato, and if you do, I will give you the chance to challenge one of the calamities personally to fight them for the throne, the seat of an all-star. I'm giving you the chance to get that, and that of course got them hyped up. But there was one Tobiropo member in particular who got hyped up, because Kaido says to Jack and to King, are you okay with this? And they both go, yes, because, you know, they're confident in their abilities, and you can tell that there's not a ton of respect between the calamities and the Flying Six. They don't really like each other, so on top of being confident in their abilities, King and Jack are probably eager at the chance to take some of them down. And then you see the Tobiropo member known as Who's Who go, heh. Like, he's pumped up, and you can see that on his face, he is confident he can take one of them down. Like, he is clearly confident. He just gives a laugh, like, I've been waiting for this chance to take down one of these calamities and take that seat and get higher in this meritocracy organization. Now, I think some of you can kind of see what I'm leading up to, and I know a lot of people have said this before, but what I'm saying is I think that Who's Who, or another Flying Six member, maybe not Who's Who, but just because of the confidence and the spotlight Who's Who has been getting, I believe that Who's Who is going to take out Jack the Drought. Whenever they find Yamato or whatever, and whenever they come back to challenge the calamities, I believe that Jack is going to be taken down and somebody will take his place, most likely Who's Who. And now, you might be wondering why I think that. It's not just because Jack is portrayed as the weakest calamity in a sense. That's just kind of how people kind of portray him or think of him, because he's got apparently the lowest bounty among the calamities and he just seems to be weaker. And that's partially what I'm going to be touching on. But first off, Jack, he's kind of an anomaly. So if you look at the top tiers of the Beast Pirates, which would be Kaido and the calamities, you got Kaido, who's either a dragon or has a dragon devil fruit, Ryo no Mi, something like that. Then you got King, who's got the ancient dragon Zoan, Ryo no Mi model Pteranodon. And then you got Queen, who also has an ancient dragon Zoan, the Ryo no Mi model Brontosaurus. So basically what I'm saying here is all of the top tiers of the Beast Pirates are dragons, some form of that, either the straight dragon or the ancient dragon. But then you got Jack, who's a mammoth. See what I'm saying here? Furthermore, Jack, somebody who's very proud of his own strength. He goes against Fujitora and Tsuru and Sengoku and all of them. He goes back at Zou. He goes back at a giant island-sized elephant. He basically attacks a living island. He's very proud of his own strength, very belligerent, very in your face. Like, I don't care if you're stronger than me, I'm still going to go at you, which is why he went at Fujitora and all of those guys. So you can see Jack is somebody who's very proud of his strength and somebody who's very violent and belligerent. But when it came to the other calamities, when they got mad at him, he meekly and submissively said,
"Sorry, brothers."
Submissive, not like the Flying Six, who, even though they know the calamities are above them, they're all in your face. They're like, we don't like you. If we have the chance, we will kill you. You know what I mean? They're like all gung-ho to take out the calamities, and they don't care if the calamities know that, and they don't even have a shred of respect for the calamities except for warriors' respect of their power. But with Jack, when Queen called him Jack to drag down, he wasn't like, what did you say, Queen? You want to go? You want to take this outside? Somebody like Who's Who would probably have been like, say that again. I dare you. I'll take you out. But Jack, you know, he's kind of submissive about it. He's just like, sorry, you know, looking sad because he's like, man, I messed up. So Jack has been been portrayed a little bit differently than the others. He's the completely out of the water in terms of abilities. All the commanders are high tiers of the Beast Pirates. They have Dragon Zoans, or maybe if Kaido's not having a Zoan Devil Fruit, he actually is a straight dragon. But Jack is just a mammoth out of nowhere. Adding that to the fact that he's all submissive, which is not necessarily a trait you see in Beast Pirates, or he's not all submissive, but when it comes to his superiors, the meritocracy mindset isn't quite there. He still has that sense of, you're higher than me. Even if they are stronger than him, still he doesn't necessarily have that in-your-faceness that most of them have, because you saw Queen, when King threw a jab at him, he was like, you want to take this outside, like he wasn't having it. But Jack is somebody who apparently will have that if somebody is higher than him or something to that regard. So Jack, he's just a little bit different from the other members of the Beast Pirates, or at least the higher members. You can see that. Now maybe that, just a little side tangent, maybe that means that Who's Who or one of the calamities has some sort of ancient Zoan dragon devil fruit, or maybe a western dragon devil fruit or something like that. Who knows? We'll see. But point is, I think because of all those discrepancies about Jack, I think he's going to be taken out, and I believe he is going to fight Luffy. I believe when he fights Luffy, it's going to be to prove himself to Kaido so he can kind of get back in the calamities. Something to that effect, because once he's out, obviously he wants to get back in, and if he takes out Luffy, he'll probably get back in, or at least be in a better position to get back in. Now, if you guys remember, when we first entered the New World, you had Punk Hazard, I believe it was, with that whole smiley thing. Jack was being hyped up since then. We saw somebody from the Beast Pirate saying, we better tell Jack about this. And Jack has been just kind of somebody who we were getting hints about. There's this guy named Jack. It's kind of building up, and you're like, I wonder who this Jack dude is. And then we get to Zou, and we find out that Jack the Drought took all of them out, and we're like, look, it's Jack again. And when we finally see Jack, he has such an explosive entrance. The first character ever to have a 1 billion belly bounty. A bounty in the billions, which was a huge shock to most of us. Like, 1 billion? Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? That's so high. This guy must be a monster. So that was the introduction to billion belly bounties, and Jack was the heralder of that. Like, he was the first one to have that, which is major hype, and I think that Oda was driving in the point that this guy is strong. So even though Jack may get taken out by one of the Flying Six, I believe all that hype, former hype, and like the way he's fighting against Ashura Doji and Nekomamushi and Inarashi and all of that, just lets us know he's very strong. We have seen that he has a lot of endurance, you know, fighting for 5 days straight, all of that stuff. Now, this part I'm about to say, I did hear this. This part of all of this is not something I thought up. This was kind of just me hearing something else that somebody else said and thinking that could play into this theory I was kind of cooking up. And of course that somebody else was Mr. Morge, because he's so credible, so I don't want anybody to be like, you're stealing this from Mr. Morge's video. Actually, I heard this from Mr. Morge's video, and I'm like, this could work out, and this would actually play into what I've been thinking about. So what Mr. Morge said was, on top of all that hype about Jack I just explained, and all of that Luffy in arcs, he usually defeats the 4 strongest villains. So if you look back, you'll see like Blue WANO, if you want to count Caesar as the 4th strongest member of the Don Quixote pirates or affiliates, he took out Caesar. If you're looking at Skypia, I forget what that guy's name was, I think it was Satori, he took out Satori, things like that. So Luffy, he just has a trend of taking out the 4 strongest as almost a mini boss, a warm-up boss, and Jack will be perfect for that because of the endurance he's shown. Luffy has a new type of armament hockey. If he wants to test it out on the enduring, the strong, the tank Jack, that would be a good showcase to show us that Luffy, he's gotten stronger, and this new hockey is no joke, because Jack would be arguably the 4th strongest in the Beast Pirates, even though he's been taken out by one of the Flying 6, which now one of them could be a Calamity. He would still be strong enough to be that quote-unquote mini boss. So basically, what I'm saying is, Jack the Calamity gets taken out by one of the Toby Robo, most likely who's who in my opinion. He gets upset because he now has no respect and everybody's clowning him, and he wants to get that respect back. He goes after the Supernova Monkey D. Luffy, who tests out his new Ryo Hockey on him and takes him out in the end, and then Luffy goes on to the rest of the arc. So that's basically it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content, and only if you enjoy my content, like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more One Piece content. I'm gonna see y'all in the next video.